morning and welcome. I was going to say, where was Gladiator Guru? All of a sudden we saw this like nothing and like half an arm and it just swooshed.
I was reheating my coffee.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Viva Cafe con Leche. I am the Badass Buddha, Lori Monaco from Align Yourself Inc. I am a chiropractic physician. I am a teacher, speaker, coach. I am a wellness specialist. What am I? What are we really? I am a soon-to-be first-time published author. Very excited about that. I'm a blogger when I get my ass to doing it. Oh, so many things. And I'm a mom, and we've never gone that route before. But yes, welcome. And I'm coming to you from finally a non-raining Southern Connecticut.
Oh, good morning. Buenos dias. Namaste, mi gente. You know, you brought up something big that I forgot. And you got to put it out there. We are bloggers, and mine is goddesssavvy.blog, right? So check it out because I've got some phenomenal stuff there. Lori, you need to share yours. Yeah, we never do Buenos dias, Chanel. We never do talk about that, being a mom. You know, mom of 2, grandmother of 4.
Bless your heart.
That's whenever we're having a bad day, we got to say, wow, we're moms, because, you know, some of us are just awesome aunties, which I wanted to be. I wanted to be an awesome auntie, and that was it. Here I am, 2 kids later and 4 grandkids, maron. So what do? You love them, and you love them. Yesterday was my youngest granddaughter's 1-year birthday. After she left here, she ended up in the hospital with a fever of 103.
Oh,
to be an array.
She partied too much? Is that what it was?
She has that RSV. Yeah. So she had that
respiratory syncytial virus. Did I miss anybody?
That's exactly what it is, which a lot of kids are getting lately.
It's not uncommon.
I'm still gonna blame McDonald's chicken nuggets. So keep her uplifted. And you know, we sang her happy birthday. It was her 3rd birthday party yesterday. She made her rounds, and she laughed and she clapped, but then she just didn't want to be bothered with nobody. So they took her in. But they just gave her like double dose of ibuprofen and Tylenol at the hospital, which is good. So that was that. I am Margarita de Margarita, which means I belong to me.
Yay.
That is my writer name. I am a writer, author, speaker. I am a pain in the ass. I belong to me when I need to be. I am your wedding officiant, your notary, your artist. Brand new coffee roaster, Latina-owned coffee company, naturally orgasmic, baby. And I am, I'm just magically orgasmic. And today I'm very happy. I have lack of sleep, but it always seems to like light firecrackers up my ass.
I know. I was just going to say that, actually.
3 hours sleep. Because you know what? No expectations of life. Let's just rise with it.
Like the phoenix.
Ride along with
ride. I thought you said ride.
Rise with the day.
Well, I'm rising. I don't care about you. Can ride. I'm rising.
With it. And less whining. More accepting. Let's do that for today. So good morning, mi gente. I'm so excited. Tomorrow is Ajusta tu Corona.
Yep.
I got my back aligned yesterday by Dr. Badass Buddha over here. She even did some cupping.
Yes.
So, it's...
How's your back feeling? Did you notice a difference?
Well, my back was like on fire yesterday because with the roasting, checking, roasting.
Yeah.
So I was a lot. Like I said, I only stopped when my son came over with the baby. Then I went back to it, and it was cold out there last night, and I was doing it in the yard. But yeah, it feels good now.
Yeah.
Once I took my shower and laid down, I didn't feel it. And I don't have pain today. So what I'm saying is take life one day at a time, because you know what? No one told you. No one promised you that life was going to be a bed of roses. That there was not going to be tragedies and travesties and hiccups in the road and boulders blocking you. no one said that they weren't going to be there. And if they did, they lied to you. So you know what? Tighten up and open your eyes and realize that life will happen, and it's you to choose which route you want to take. If you want to take a detour or do you want to bulldoze the boulders, it's totally up to you and no one else's fault. And that's what I said to myself this morning when I didn't want to get up, because I like to sleep with the window open. It was so fucking cold. And I was like, that's what you get.
And 48 degrees outside,
And
which
deal
is
with it. And guess what? You deal with it and you're just happy to be alive and you're happy to be on a show like you are today. And we're excited for our guests. And I'm talking. My coffee's very good. What's in your cup, badass Buddha?
This is our show today, by the way. What are you stepping in, your power or your poo? And what's in my cup? Oh, Gladiator Guru, I'm so happy that you asked me. And I didn't grab my bag, but this is my magically orgasmic coffee that my really good, dear, bestie friend dropped off to me yesterday. You might know her. Margarita de Margarita of Cricket's Whisper. And it is a fabulous cup of coffee, by the way. I'm mad that I'm already at half a cup because these cups, you know what? You and I need to make our own special cups for the show for us. That's like double the size, that you need you need two holders, like this to drink it.
I love the red. It's popping really bright today. Oh, okay. So she don't have her bag. That's kind of just like she don't have her bag. But for those coming to the event,
I'll get my bag.
There's only going to be 2 bags that are white, and one is Colombian organic Sierra Nevada, and one is Ethiopian organic coffee. So only 2 bags. So if you're interested in owning a naturally orgasmic cafe company bag, 2 whites that are organic. Colombian, Sierra Nevada organic, and Ethiopian organic. So the rest will be gold. That's my house blend, dark roast espresso. I made Lori a light roast, so I'm hoping that it tasted good because, who knows me, I like dark roast. I love it.
Oh my God, it smells so good. Like I'm moving it around going, oh God, because it's beans, All right. So let's get rocking and rolling here. So for those of you that, listen, if you did not buy your ticket yet, for the love of God, would you buy your ticket for Augusta tu Corona? Seriously, like it's tomorrow. So many people are so last minute, and I get that, but this is like a celebration, like this is, we've needed this. I'm so looking forward to this. My middle daughter is coming with me, which I'm very excited about because she doesn't usually go to places with me these days. She's always doing her own thing. And she truly embraces her Puerto Rican heritage. So she's coming and we're going to have our booth, and Gladiator Guru has all kinds of fabulous stuff. So definitely get your damn ticket. Seriously, get your ticket. It's so frustrating when you're an organizer and people buy tickets so last minute when you're trying to get head counts, and sometimes they cut it off, especially for an event that is in person. Online events, you can wait till last minute. And that's, I think, where a lot of us have gotten that habit because we could just sign on literally like as it's starting. But something like this, I'm surprised actually Lillian didn't have a cutoff. So get your ticket.
You know why? I tell you, we talked about it. Francia just announced that she's our #1 anniversary follower.
Yay.
And she's doing this from the airplane as she's flying into Connecticut. But because Ajusta tu Corona, it's an empowerment movement. And but we want to give everybody the opportunity to, up to the last minute, to come and feed their spirits so that they can nurture their ego, so that they can learn or remember and then apply to their lives. Things that, as you and I both admitted to one another, life happens, right? And sometimes we get derailed and we forget our own teachings because we're too busy playing teacher and nurse and mommy, and all these other things, vet, pet, all this kind of stuff, that we forget the simple teachings that gives us that little uplift, that gives us that pep in our step, because everything else is just like right there. So I think that's why we talk about investing in self. When the Badass Buddha and I come on this show every Tuesday and Thursday. It's not because we're bored. It's because we have a
Or we
platform
like to hear ourselves talk.
we can share, because when you
Maybe a little of that one.
when you guys log in and you share some of your input, we're learning. So it's a give and take here. So that's what we love to see when everybody pops up, because you know what, when you pop up, you're popping into each other's lives.
Yes.
And that's what we need to continue doing. So although it's like it's a catered event, we need to know how many people are coming because we need to know how much food to have and all of this. It was still no cutoff, because we still want to see you there. We still want to share with you the beauty of when women come in collaboration and when women come together in acceptance and not competition. We can move mountains, and no matter what type of weather. So yes.
And that's great, because that doesn't happen very often as far as the cutoff gets extended. So take advantage of that. But just register today. So good morning, Francia. Good morning, Yaya. Who else is on? We're slowly grabbing our tribe is coming on little by little. We're keeping track of everybody. Make sure that you say hello, because sometimes we don't see you. Hi, Tony Balizas, Hernandez, Michelle Houston. Hey, Michelle, we haven't seen you in a while, honey. I know you've been working. So definitely say hello so that we see you. We sometimes catch it in the feed of the Facebook feed, but it's so much easier when we see it in the comments section. So we do have a guest today. So let's set our intention, say our mantra, and then we will get our fabulous guest on today talking about your power or your poo. Which are you stepping in? All right. So you got the intention, Gladiator Guru? Go girl. Go girl.
My intention for today is I am enough. Be enough. I always get the intention and mantra confused. Isn't that ridiculous? We've been doing this going on 2 years. But just say, I am enough. Like, take your power back right now at this moment, because you are enough where you are standing. I was talking to somebody yesterday. I'm like, the more you plan, the more you train, the more you read, you're just delaying. You're delaying your growth, because all you're doing is sitting down, listening to and reading and doing and watching the world pass you by while you're still trying to gather your thoughts. Just get up and do it where you stand. And that's why it took me 20 hours to roast all these bags of coffee yesterday, because I have a small roaster that it takes every 25 minutes to roast a pound.
You'll get there.
You know what? That's where I was standing. It's what I wanted to do. And it's what had to be done.
And it's the start. Before you know it, as it grows, then you're going to get the big damn roaster.
Exactly. I am not there's nothing that's phasing me. There's nothing that fears me. But you know what? Be enough where you're standing. Stop listening, reading, watching. Just do, because you're just looking for excuses to stand still, because, I think I have to take this. I have to watch this. Let me read this book first to make sure I'm on the right track. You're delaying your growth, so don't be mad when people surpass you. So be enough where you stand right now.
All right. And your mantra for today is, I am a powerful woman. That's it. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I'm a powerful, beautiful woman. I am a powerful, beautiful woman. You're going to say that all day today, because it's going to completely align with the conversation today, that when you're stepping in something, don't be stepping in the poo. You're going to be stepping in your power. So I am a powerful, beautiful woman. All right. So great. All right, here we go. So let's bring on our guest, our fabulous guest. So let me tell you a little about our fabulous guest. Gail Kraft is host of the Empowering Process podcast. She is a motivational speaker, author, and empowerment coach. Gail works with clients who are successful in most of their life and still feel called for more. Love it. Something is missing, limiting their connection to even greater love, joy, connection, and success. Gail's mission is to live every day purposefully and unapologetically expressing joy, passion, deliciousness. Love it. Ephraim would love that too. He always uses that word. And enlightenment, with the intention of showing up for you, holding space for you to discover your own purpose and potential. And listen, this completely coincides, by the way, with the our mantra, right? As what is our mantra for the show? Our overall mantra for the show is Cafe Viva Cafe con Leche, our disruptors, unapologetically courageous, spiritually grounded, magically orgasmic, and beyond authenticity. So, welcome, Gail Kraft. Good morning.
Hey, ladies, it's so wonderful to be here. I'm like taking notes as you like, oh, yes, we can talk about that. Oh, yes, we can talk about
Hey,
that.
listen, that's the way we roll. We just bring that out in people, and we just flow. Whatever you're going to run the stage today, so you decide like which direction you want to go, and we'll just go. It's very organic, and we
Yeah.
also encourage comments from the tribe. So they
Oh,
sometimes
please do. Yes,
they sometimes ask questions, or they'll
yes.
sometimes give comments. So welcome, Gail. I can't remember where are you. Where are you right now?
Right now, I'm in New Hampshire.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Right,
I
so
love
we're
New
on the same coast, so we're in the same time zone, which I'm not
Yes.
accustomed to. I'm accustomed to people being on the wrong time zone for me. One day I was talking with someone that was 6 hours ahead of me, and the next day I was talking to someone 6 hours behind me. Right, so love technology, love the ability to not matter where the heck you are.
I
Right,
know. Yes.
right.
Unless you're getting your butt up and it's like 3 in the morning having to be on a podcast, because
Well,
that's
I've
what
done that.
yeah,
Hmm.
that's what happens when you have the European people or like people from England that are like, "Oh yeah, come on my podcast," and it's live and you're like, "Oh my God." But we have it that
Let me
way
get the
too.
sleep out of my eyes,
Yeah,
right?
we have it that way too with our West Coasters,
Right?
But okay, so let's talk about this. Let's talk about stepping in your power or stepping in your poo. Which let's start with the poo first, I think. Let's get the poo out of the way. So,
I've stepped in poo plenty of times,
oh honey,
right?
I've like stepped in it, I've laid in it,
Rolled
I've like
around in it, yeah, taken a bath in it, right?
Or
what
we save it as compost to then go back there, step in and check and make sure it's still shit.
Right, right, and right,
yeah,
has it turned into diarrhea yet? It's a little bit too hard still. Um, and so enough with the metaphors.
and the
I'd love
visual.
to give you an example or two or three or four or five, and these are life lessons. I have to say, even if you do step in poo, step out of it, take a shower, take a look at the lesson that you got from it, right? I've had two major poo events, shall we say, in my life. And in both cases, I was in a situation that I very quickly knew was not right for me, right? And so I gave my power away because I stayed. I remained in those situations because of fear. I mean, it's
Yeah.
fear, bottom line,
Yep.
fear of, well, I'm making a good salary, I don't know anyone around here. This is a new place for me. Whatever the excuse, I stayed in the situation because I was afraid to step out of it. And what happens, folks, when you do that, the universe knows you're in the wrong situation, and if you don't move your butt, the universe will fire you or kick you out the door.
Oh yeah.
Right? Right? Right?
And sometimes lightly and other times like holy shit kind of
Right?
deal.
Right?
Yep.
And I will say the first time, and so let me back up. I have been on the board of directors of major companies. I have been very, very successful in my life. And so when I got fired, I was like, who the fuck do you think you are firing me?
Yeah.
Right? Right? I like am the bomb, right? So I wallowed in the anger, right?
Mm,
Which was awesome because I woke up one day and I couldn't stand who I was.
mm,
And I thought, why do I still have friends? Who would want to hang around with the poison
mm.
that comes out of my mouth? And that was, thank you, my step into self development, my step into enlightenment, my
Yeah.
step into my power, right? I gave my power away and I grabbed it back. The day that I realized I couldn't stand myself was the day I started that journey back. Right. So if you step in the poo, it's not the end of the world, right? It is an opportunity to shift, right? The second major one is I ended up working, I gave up everything and moved to work for this amazing person who happened to be a narcissist, but I didn't realize it until I was in the situation. And what a strong narcissist does is they lure you in, right? They tell this, you're awesome at this, you're fantastic at this, you need to be part of my life. And as they're doing that, they're looking for your weaknesses.
Oh, yes. We
Oh
talk
my
about
God.
this all the time.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And once you commit and you're fucked, they're like chip, 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 chip.
Yes.
And I felt like I had stepped into Oz. I didn't know what the heck was going on. And I'll tell you that situation because I so looked up to this person, which is a mistake, guys. Don't ever put anyone on a pedestal. And I knew when I did that, I was
Unless it's
going to be
yourself.
sorry.
Put
Yep,
yourself on the pedestal.
that's right. Just yourself. Um, when I realized what was going on, my heart was broken.
Mm.
And, if anyone has had a real strong broken heart, I thought I was going to die.
Yeah.
That's how it hurt.
Yep.
And I refused to leave until I uncovered my reason why I got myself in that situation. I needed to solve that problem because I didn't want to ever get into it again.
Yep.
And I haven't. And I haven't. And so I left on my terms finally because I healed myself first and I left whole, and happy again for the lesson. So stepping in poo can be pretty traumatic, guys. Pretty traumatic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yep.
You can't always wipe it off very easily. You have to, like, chisel it off sometimes. You've gotta, like, and like Gladiator Guru said, sometimes we have this habit of storing some of the crap in the yard and just leaving it there, and we think we've gotten away with it, and then every so often we go in and check to see if if it still works for us, and we've got it. And sometimes it's good because you're just checking in, but other times you just get sucked back in, and then all of a sudden you're stepping in it again, and you say the same thing over and over again. Why did I let this happen again? Like, how did and it comes down to the fact that we disconnect, and we assume that we have to be careful about this. You can't go into life thinking that your past experiences set your future experiences. In other words, if something bad happens to you, you can't think that everything is going to be bad. However, you also can't be blind to the fact that there is the possibility that can happen again. So when you
Mhm.
go into your future and you say, well, I'm leaving that behind me, I'm not dealing with that anymore, and you move forward, you still have to go in with the vision of, okay, this is what I want, and I want this fabulous thing, but I also have to be diligent about what's happened to me in my past and be fully open to the fact that that is a possibility that I could get sucked in again, especially when you're not healed. Like, until you get
Right.
really strong enough, like Gail, when you said you got sucked in by the narcissist, we've all had that happen, right? And
Mhm.
some of us more than others.
Right.
And narcissists are good because they know you have the weakness. They won't bother with you if they don't. They'll feel you out a little bit. And if it might take them a little time, but if they figure it out that you don't have any flaws, or at least you're strong, you're resilient enough to, like, not put up with that crap, they'll let you go because they're
Right.
not gonna be bothered. But they're good at figuring it out. And so that's why we have to figure it out before anybody else figures it out. Right, Gladiator? What
Absolutely.
do you think,
Absolutely.
Gladiator? What's your thoughts?
I agree, but my thoughts and all this stuff is always choice. How we always have a choice, and when we stop being a spectator in
Yeah.
life, our own mirror reflections, or when we stop sitting trying to learn from everybody else's mistakes and just own up to our own,
Right.
that's when the hell we stepped into our power.
Yes.
Because when we don't do that, it's easy to then fall back into it. Well, you got to make a decision. Are you going to wear panties today or not? Are you going to stay the hell away from that spiral spin? Or are you going to stay grounded and fight it with every fiber of your being?
And sometimes it's a brutal fight. And sometimes you sit back and say, why was that such a struggle before? It was so easy to avoid it once I saw it.
Once you saw it, it's like the poem, walking down the street. There's a hole in the wall. I walk down the street, I fall in. Takes a minute to get out. The next day, I'm walking down the street. There's a hole in the sidewalk. I see it. I still fall in. The next day, I'm walking down the street. There's a hole in the sidewalk. I see it. I know it, and I still fall in. It's twice as hard to get out. The next day, I'm walking down the street. I see the hole in the ground. I take another fucking street. How many times do you gotta fall though? Like for you to say, no one's gonna come save me. You know what? People are tired of being Captain Save-A-Holes. Save your own damn self, and then let's walk this line together in full force.
Oh, I can't tell you.
Everything for your sanity, for your health, for your well-being is a battle. Question is, you gotta ask, are you a warrior or not?
Right.
Well, are you secure in yourself? And so do you know yourself? And that's one of the things I do with my clients is really work on who are you at a soul level, at a core level? What are your values? Not the values put on you by society, not the values put on you by your business. What are your intrinsic values? Because when you know those things, then you can put up healthy boundaries. Like, this is what is important to me. This is who I am. And you can't cross that. Right. I had a gentleman I was working with one time. This was really hilarious. He's like, I came home and my wife, she got all over me and I have the boundaries. She knows the boundaries and she crossed those boundaries and we got into it. Da, 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 da. So he finished and I went, so she not only crossed the boundaries, but you allowed her to put up a tent and start a fire and get comfortable. Right. But that was your fault. You put up the boundaries, and when she crossed it, you didn't say, whoa, honey, you know that this is a no-no for me. You need to step back. We need some space. Right? And let's get regrounded. So you allowed that to happen. So let's talk about why.
Can I just say, I love your metaphor. And I just want to let you know that I had a whole campground set up on mine. Like I had RVs parked there. I had single tents, double tents, like my boundaries, I don't know where the hell they were, but everybody decided to just so yes, I feel that one. That was a fabulous by the way.
It is.
Yeah.
And I guess we had the same message. We deliver it differently because
exactly.
When I speak to people, I ask them if they're either or, because you have to be that gladiator in your life. You have to fight to the very end. So are you predator or are you prey? And if you're prey, stop complaining. Tighten up. Let's build up those muscles in your mind first to cultivate that self-trust and that self-love and self-understanding.
Right.
And then you build your body to follow. Because there's only two routes in life. Either you're a predator, and predator, don't take it wrong. People hear that word and they make it out to be someone, a violent person. No, a predator is somebody that walks. It's like, picture the Lion King. They're walking with their shoulders back, their head up, and no matter how much fear they have, they still put one foot in front of the other, aiming for the goal, which is going to enrich their lives.
Exactly. So I'd like to talk a little bit about the power piece, because you kind of touched on it, right? When I talk about power, I'm not talking about putting on the boxing gloves and getting in the ring and, punching the next guy out. Though you might have to do that. I'm talking about knowing unconditionally who you are and loving yourself in spite of it. I say warts and all, right? I am not perfect. I really suck at some things and I really excel at some things. I'm not going to try and fix what I suck at, because that's what I suck at. I am going to work on what I excel at. I'm going to dig into that and I'm going to love myself for it.
That's why I mentioned how I teach the cultivation of self. But that's why I say it's similar messages. It's just delivered differently.
Right.
We were raised on survival skills. I'm not going to be 53 years old, survived everything I survived because we used pretty words. Not only did we didn't even know what words we were using. It was the action that was behind it. But still, we were raised to show kindness, generosity, and be grateful for every day we have. So that's what I teach, the cultivation of self. Because once you cultivate self-trust, the self-love, the self-belief, the self-understanding follows without a skip.
Right.
It's about being that. But yeah, it's just a different outcome, I guess, different audiences. I like to deal with women who know, like, really have fallen on their ass, and like they could either go angry, we could either pick up an AK-47 and go for those who hurt us, because that's not a problem.
We're not telling you to do that, by the way.
This is metaphorical.
Just a disclaimer.
And enrich each other's lives with affirmations and being intentional with love and kindness. I mean, you can do both at the same time as well. You can't like put anything out, but I think that sometimes when I listen to somebody who tries to talk to me with all these fancy words and that soft tone, I just can't, because it's not real for me and where I come from.
Well, one of the things that you mentioned, and I want to go back to another, was affirmations. I have a love-hate relationship with affirmations, right? I have a love-hate relationship with declarations, because what happens is, people go out and they do the YouTube, and they listen to, audios all about affirmations will change your life. Bullshit. If you say, my affirmation is I am a millionaire, and you have 2 cents in the bank account, your subconscious is going to call you a liar, and the affirmation is not going to work. Right. The same thing with declarations. They're just not going to work if you're not being real. Right. I in fact, have a book called The Empowering Process, which is 366 empowering questions. And empowering, oh my God, for every day, even leap year. An empowering question is formulated in a way that it has a presupposition that you're already doing that. And it's time framed, and it has energy, and it's compelling. So for example, that millionaire piece, right? So what more can I do right now to move myself forward to increasing that bank account and my worth to $1 million by the end of blah? So your subconscious goes, well, what more can I do? Well, you're working. Or, okay, so we need more, right? Right now, okay, today, what do I need to do? And I have a goal, right? There's so much action, and it's something your subconscious can buy into. And it opens up your blinders so that you become aware of what you're not aware of that's available to you right now. Right? So much more powerful than, affirmation. So I have a problem with affirmations. So I do use them.
Yeah. I get that. I think the most powerful affirmation that goes across the board, period,
is to say what she just said. That's the most powerful affirmation.
Isn't it amazing?
I have a love-hate relationship with it, because you're speaking your truth, and you're making us go, I love affirmations, but she got a point right there. And that's what being disruptors is all about. It's not about force feeding our beliefs down somebody's mouth. It's saying what you just said. And then I'm like, I'm writing, and I'm like, fuck, she makes sense. Because it's true, but it's still nice.
Right. I still use affirmations, but they have to be believable.
And it's not, and being a disruptor, we use that term. We're not saying you're going to go over somebody's house and somebody's life and disrupt them. It's disruptor of your own life. It's whatever direction you're going. If you're not happy in the direction you're going, you need to disrupt that to be able to switch gears or turn on the path. And my favorite affirmation truly is, it's possible, period. That's it. Because anything's possible. You fill in the blank, but as long as you say it's possible to anything you're saying, can I become a millionaire? It's possible. It's possible. Can I be successful? It's possible. And right there, because either the person says it is or it isn't. And if they say it isn't, they're done. That's it. No affirmation in the world would work anyway.
No.
But if you say it's possible, all the other the affirmations are there for fluff or just to keep you going. But that one is there. It's possible. But here's the thing. Is it possible for me to become a millionaire? It's possible. But I can't just sit in my ass and just sit there and manifest and visualize my millions, me sitting, because as I'm sitting there, I'm not taking the action. And that is the difference.
Or pasting pictures on the vision board and never getting out of your living room.
Yes, that's right. Just think of it this way. If you step in shit, okay, and you start because listen, let's bring it back to the poo. If you step in shit and you walk around your house going, oh God, what is that smell? What is that smell? And you go, oh my God, I stepped in dog crap. And you just keep walking around going, oh my God, the smell is terrible. But you don't clean your shoe. You're not taking action. The only way you're going to get away from that is you have to clean your shoe. You could say, oh, well, I'll take action. I'm just going to throw some perfume on me. Oh, I won't smell the dog shit anymore. You didn't solve the problem.
Right.
You have to solve the problem. You have to get out of the poo, clean the shoe, and then not step in it again. Where did I step in that? Where in the yard is that? I have to clean it up. Or where did I walk that I stepped in that, and avoid it, just like the hole in the street?
Yeah, but you know what? People learn differently, and with being public speaking and listening and getting feedback from people, I know that I'm kind of blunt, so that's why my audience has to be hardcore, and I'm okay with that. But people learn differently. They have different tiers of learning, so sometimes you're gonna have to fall. Let me tell you, I've fallen. Now me and the floor are like this. I love that bitch, and she loves me, always pulling me down to her. So what happens? People learn at different levels.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna probably have to step in shit 10 times before it resonates, where someone else is gonna take them 3 times the charm. And that's not for judgment. That's just saying, all right, get up, dust yourself off. And then because the comprehension and the learning, it's all different, but get it. At some point you must get it for your
Well,
own.
if you fall in the shit, that means you took a chance. So I want to get back to one of the things that you said early on was motion. So one of the analogies that I use about that, if you're sitting on the couch and you want to lose weight and you're flicking through Netflix, you're probably not going to get in shape or lose weight. But if you're standing up and rocking back and forth and flicking through Netflix, you're already in a position that when you decide to take a step, you will, right? So when I talk about pushing forward, right, let's just first take a small step. Get up off the couch, right? How's it feel standing up? Right now that you're standing up. So I talk about little steps that are push you. It's the fear boundary, push you past. Right now you're standing up. Walk to the front door. You don't have to open it or go out yet, but put your hand on the hand. How's that feel? Right? Open it up a little bit. Okay. Is it snowing out? Okay. You don't have to go out yet. Right? So slowly but surely, just pushing past the boundaries. And the next thing you know, right, you're down 3 sizes, you're eating healthy, right, and you're living life the way that you want to. Now, if you come to me with a weight problem, I'm not going to take care of it. I will send you to someone else. I will send you to some. That's their job. That's just an analogy of the types of things that we do. So when we say make a decision, get up and do something, it's okay if it's the wrong thing. When you realize it's the wrong thing, you're already in motion.
Yes.
You can pivot, you can turn, you can change, you can take a right hand. You cannot take a right hand turn from a stop. You have to be moving to take that right hand turn. Just saying, move. Make a choice and move.
And first of all, I love that.
Movimiento es vida. Movement is life.
Yes,
I write about that. I speak about that. That's just what it is. Whether you're dancing as you're just standing there, or you're walking, or you're, yes, movement is life. Without it, we're stagnant. So thank you for saying that.
Yes. Hey, let's do some quick shout outs. So Edith says on, good morning. Delilah Sanchez, good morning. Terry Fox is in the house. Good morning. We love Terry when he comes on. I wish Terry would come on every time, but I know it's early over where he is. He's out in Colorado. Janet, good morning. Who did we miss? Yaya, good morning. Remember, don't forget to, pop in and say, hey, so we see you, so we could shout you out too.
Right.
So I love that. I love all the analogies you're using because, and same thing with Gladiator Guru, because sometimes there are those that when they decide to do something, they got to go full throttle. They go in head first. They're like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to freaking take the plunge. I'm going to go into that ocean in the middle of winter and jump in, and bless them. And I got to tell you that sometimes I can do that with certain things. I just plunge. Then there's other times where I have to put my toe in. And I love the fact that both of you were kind of talking about both sides. The reality is this: know thyself. If you know yourself and you know there's some things that you can dive straight in and head first, then know those are the things and go for it and honor yourself for it. For the other things, don't beat yourself up if you're not like that with other stuff. You say, oh, no, I
Right.
can't put my toe in and that's not good. And I don't want to go outside. So that's all right. Get off the couch, just like Gail was saying. Know that there's so many elements of you. You know, Gladiator Guru always talks about how she's friends with all her personalities. When we laugh about that, you know, like, oh, it's her personalities, blah, blah, blah. But, and it's like, oh, it's a multiple personality disorder, but whatever. We all have multiple personalities, though we really do. Not in
How many acknowledge them?
right. But not in a, because when we think of it as a, like in the guise of the medical realm where it's a disorder. We don't mean like that. We don't mean like you don't know the other one and the other one comes out. We're talking about where you acknowledge these are the different parts of me. And that, again, that goes right back to what you were saying, Gail, was you have to know who you are.
Right.
And when you know who you are, then you can say, okay, well, this is me. And these are my strong points. And these are my weaker points. We use that, you know, as a, just we'll take it lightly. But then you say, okay, so let me really emphasize my strengths and really use those as my main, you know, my main thing to move forward. And let me work on my weak points so that they won't be weaker anymore. Because let's do it physically. If you want to work out and you're picking up weights and you're going, man, I'm weak, can't lift this weight. You know, this is pathetic. How do you get stronger and lift more weight? You just keep lifting the weight. You keep lifting and lifting until it gets easy. Then you add more weight. And you keep lifting, and then it gets easier, add more weight. It's the same thing with any weakness that we have. We have to, we have to make it stronger. And you can. And then if you can't make certain things, weaknesses stronger, the strengths that you do create override or compensate for those weaknesses. But as long as you're okay with those weaknesses, like you don't have to wear it proudly and go, oh, I'm a procrastinator and walk around, you know, I am, but I'm an active procrastinator.
Right.
Like I know that I put something off, but when it comes down to the wire, I get that shit done and I am so focused. That's exactly what I did yesterday. The last 2 days, I whipped out a humongous amount of writing for the book that's coming out in less than 2 weeks. And I was a little panicked and I told Gladiator Guru, I was like, oh, it's not coming. And all of a sudden it did. And it was fabulous. At least, you know, the Gladiator Guru read it. And I think I'm proud of what I wrote. So, but I'm okay with that. Like, I know that's me. I'm not wearing the badge proudly. I just like acknowledge it.
But you should, because, you know, there's a saying that says where there is light, the shadow will always follow. And that's the balance of life.
So it's the universal law of polarity, right?
Yeah. So,
right?
I mean, when we acknowledge that, we're not going to take the shadow, the darkness, as bad, as catastrophic as we would have before we learned to love, accept, and trust ourselves and our process. And that's the way the sun dies every night so that the moon can rise. That's how your life is going to be. You're going to be in sunshine, and then the shadows are going to be all encompassing. But it's how you navigate your way out.
Well, so I'm dyslexic. Love my dyslexia, right? And you know, I can't write a sentence without 3 errors in it. It's just, and I used to struggle with that, but now it's like, yeah, that's now who I am, right? So I'm not going to take a job to write your copy. Just right. If you want me to write your copy, which the narcissist, by the way, wanted me to do, it ain't going to happen, right? Or it will happen, but it'll be pretty crappy. You know, for me, so Badass Buddha, I'm writing actually 5 ebooks. There's a whole series, and what I do is I invite people in when the ebook is done to every day for a week review a chapter or so with me. And I get that, Gail, that's not making sense. What did you mean? Oh my God, now that I look at it, yeah, you're right. This is backwards, right? So I'm getting the feedback, and I'm also getting feedback like, holy crap, I read that chapter and now I got some things to work on. Yes. Right? It's a great way for me to have my content reviewed. And so I've learned that as long as my content hits on the nose, relax that you have some spelling errors and some punctuation errors. Who gives a crap? If that bothers somebody, they're not your client anyway.
Yeah. I said I'm a writer, not an English professor.
Exactly. Exactly. So
I'm going to stay quiet and not let you know that stuff like that bothers me.
no, it's okay. But understand that it bothers you. Who is it that you're reading, right? Who is it that you're
No,
reading?
I'm just like, and again, it's about embracing yourself. There are little
Right?
pieces of myself that I know I'm anal, and
Yep.
I laugh about it. Is it a game changer for me? Do I dislike somebody because they didn't put a punctuation where it was supposed to go? No, I crack up and I laugh when I do little things like that, and I'm not rude about it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you missed a period here, and I'm never going to read your stuff ever again.
And I'll be like, fine, don't read it, because I don't need an anal motherfucker like you judging my stuff. You write something for me now.
That's right. And I don't do
that. That's how I would say.
That's not me. Like, that's the thing. That's knowing thyself is, I don't let that shit bother me. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like, it is what it is. And because I have my own things that will bother other people. And to me, it's a matter of, if somebody lets me know something I'm doing is off, I have to think about it and say, okay, is it something that I need to work on for for me, not for them, for me? Or am I okay with who I am and they can just go suck it, whatever.
And I would turn around and say, is what's bothering me about you infringing on my top 5 values? If the answer is no, then Gail, suck it up. Why the hell is it bothering you?
Yeah.
If the answer is yes, I will say, I have a value that's being infringed on. Let's talk about that.
What does the narcissist say when you say something like
that? I'll tell you, she cannot speak to me. She cannot even be in the same room with me anymore. Yeah. I'm fine with her. I if I see her, I still will go to give her a hug. She will back away. Right? Because I dealt with what was going on. Right? And learn from that. So so own up to your own shit, right? Be comfortable with being uncomfortable. One of the other things that I work on is the dark side, right? We all have, whether you like it or not, self-esteem issues. We all do, right? We all have heart issues. We all have communication issues. We all have, at some level, these fears, right? Working with the dark side, the polarity, if you will, of who you are. When those things rise up, your subconscious is telling you something, right? It's sending you a message. When you suppress it, it's going to get louder because it's sending you a message, right? It's so much better to, so here's another thing that I have people do. Imagine that your subconscious is another person. Give it a name that has nothing to do with you. Nice. My subconscious is named George. Has nothing to do with me, right? I literally take George out and sit down and say, okay, George, let's have a conversation. What's going on, right? When we get to the root, and I separate we, right? Oh, well, honey, you're reacting to something that happened 20 years ago. I want to thank you for reminding me, but I got this. Don't go away, because you don't want your subconscious not to do its job. I'm going to put you back, George, but I got this. And then George will let you go on. And will support you. Once you convince your subconscious that you've got this, talk about power, it will stop fighting you and it will support you.
That's absolutely right.
Yep.
That's right. Because we trained our subconscious all these years, and it's just following what it was trained to do. And it's just that's why it resists so much. When you all of a sudden say, okay, from this point going forward, I'm not eating this, I'm not eating that, I'm going to get up at 5 a.m. I'm going to exercise, and your subconscious goes, wait, what the hell are you doing? For the last 20 years, we've ate this. I did exactly what you asked. You told me to eat it. You told me not to exercise. You told me to sleep in at this hour. What are you doing? And then usually it'll just say in the beginning, because the conscious mind will go, oh, no. Listen, this is what we're doing, and we're going to do it. And the subconscious says, all right, I'll play. I'll go along with it for a moment, and then the subconscious keeps reminding you, no, but this doesn't feel right. This is different. You don't do this. And then it takes that one moment where the alarm goes off and you look at it and you go, I'm really tired. It's a little early. I'm gonna hit the snooze. And the subconscious goes, yes, little by little, that snooze is gonna get longer and longer. And that's what it does. And it just says, thank you, because this is what I know.
It's my comfort zone.
But the subconscious, though, if you keep pushing it and going like, George, no, George, we're getting up. George, we're not eating this. And then finally, George will be like, all right, fine. And it sets the new routine.
Right. It creates a new norm for you.
And it does not take 21 days to change a habit, 90 days. Research has shown it could take anywhere between 7 days, depending on the habit, and almost an entire year. So if you're changing your diet and you only did 3 months worth and you're like, I can't do this anymore, you have got to keep going.
Oh my God. The second that you say, so talk about coaching, the second that you say, I can't anymore, right? The second that I hear my client go, I don't know if this is getting anywhere, the next meeting, I know they will have a breakthrough, right? And 100% of the time, the next meeting, they're like, holy crap, what just happened, right? Right. I had a client just like 2 weeks ago. He was like, what did you do to me? What did you do to me? The walls came tumbling down. Right. But it was an awesome experience. It's an awesome experience because you lose 20 pounds when those weights come off your shoulders. Right. You move more freely through this 3-dimensional world than you did the day before. Right. You breathe in your decision-making process. You don't push out your decisions. So different.
And that's one of the things I wrote about feeding your spirit. When you feed your spirit positive and beautiful words that empower and motivate, then what you do is that's how you take your power back, because when you do that, when you allow your spirit to feel love and know its rightful place, then that's when you can control your thought process and those past hurts, that subconscious that wants to keep bringing you back to peel the scabs off those already healed wounds, right? So when we feed our spirits, we nurture our ego with kindness and gratitude. Then we start taking control of our thought process. And when we become in control of our balance, then we eradicate those negative fear-fueled thoughts that hinder our growth and our legacies to come. But it's right. However you want to word it, because we're going to word it differently. I'm very spiritual. I'm a sacred healer. So I love to remind people to feed their spirits. Sometimes we're too busy fixing this and doing this and finding the right outfit and all of this kind of stuff. And we're neglecting what's carrying us until our last breath.
And what's interesting, I love, because we're a holistic being, body, mind, spirit. You cannot fix one without fixing it's all got to be worked together. I totally agree with you. And what happens when you get to that alignment, right? So I had a client, he came up to me and he goes, I never thought that I would feel this way. I'm so unattached from what's going on that it's beautiful, right? Because his need to be fed specific outcomes no longer existed.
Wow.
Right? It was the best comment ever from him, because that's what we worked a lot on, was his need to have this kind of input, right? Because it was destroying him.
And when you have that, when you do that, when you let go like that, the affirmation that I said, anything is possible.
Right.
It's true. Like I know, Dr. Joe Dispenza does this meditation, and he does lots of meditations, but the one thing
which one?
Yeah, I know. He says you want to become no one, nowhere, in no time. And in other words, because time is just time. I mean, it's just, where we are so when you go into a meditation and you become nobody, you're just energy. I'm not badass Buddha. I'm not Lori. I'm nothing. Okay. So just energy.
Right.
Nowhere. So you're not in your room anymore. You could be anywhere in the universe and in no time. So there's no time limit. When you open yourself up like that, you can allow things to flow to you. And it's not saying you have to be like that all damn day. I mean, nothing will get done. But in those moments, to let that energy flow in, and it's hard for people. I struggle with it even on a daily basis to take that moment to do that, because it's a lot to ask of a person to do that, because we do want to tend to like know our outcomes and figure out our outcomes and do that stuff. But when we trust in that process, things will come in. And some people say, "Oh, I don't like that idea because, bad spirits could come in." Not if you are fully in connection with yourself. You won't let that happen. It's
Well,
not like
bad spirits will come in if you allow them.
that's what I mean. Yeah, exactly.
Right. Right. So so there was a time, the first time, because I've meditated my entire life, and we won't get into that. That can be a whole other episode, believe me, about the experiences of that. But there was a time I was in, I don't know if I was 29 pounds, but out in the desert in California with all the vortexes all over the place. And I decided to do a little meditation, right? And that disconnect happened, and that out of body ethereal experience happened. I was there for 4 hours
Holy
and
God.
it felt like 4 minutes,
Yeah.
right? Right. That's the first time I recall experiencing timelessness, right? It was amazing. And we're not suggesting that you guys do that, but we're suggesting that you do some of it, that you relax, that you change your focus to just nothing for just a few minutes. Just to let it flow, let it come in. That's where your power is. So when we talk about power, we're talking about that three-dimensional, fourth dimensional, fifth dimensional, sixth dimensional connectivity, that we are all one.
And then when you do that, then you're honoring yourself.
Yeah.
When you feel that you have to have every hour of your day filling it with this, and that, then you are starving within, and you don't want to face your whatever shortcomings you may have, or whatever areas you must fill with self-love and self-acceptance. So you're pouring it out, right, to do this, and you're filling every hour of your day. Let me tell you something. At first, because I've been a caregiver for 10 years, so I always had to be up at a certain time and check and do this all hours of the night. Lately, and then when I wasn't a caregiver, I'm like, what am I supposed to do now? And then when I would oversleep, because I barely ever slept in 10 years, I felt guilty. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm not, because every hour of my day does not have to be filled doing something outward.
Right.
Me sitting still, thinking, reminiscing,
Right.
writing, that was feeding my spirit. That was making my soul feel at home and knowing that it belonged in this borrowed universe that my spirit is living in.
Yep.
Because everything is spiritual. It doesn't matter how much amount of this and that you acquire. Who the hell are you? What's your favorite color? What's your favorite sexual position? Can you tell me that without thinking that it's something that's so terrible? It's just the most natural thing to do. Why not speak about it? When you can let go of all that bullshit you call the safety net, then you're open to receive the blessings and the gift that God have allowed for you. You're open to receive all the beautiful energies with the bright auras that's meant for you. We block ourselves and then we complain.
Oh my goodness.
Live
Yes.
in expectations.
Yes.
I'm not
Yes.
the coach to come to for that with that bullshit.
No, it's about responsibility and accountability.
Oh yeah.
Right. Own up to who you are, own up to what you did, but don't own the bullshit other people will put on you.
Not at all. We have enough of our own to carry.
Right. So
it's your baggage.
you can point blame at me, and I may step back and say, well, did that really happen? And if it did, I will apologize for not being aware, not for what I did, but not being aware. Right?
Yeah.
Right. If it didn't, I will probably say, yeah, no, I don't own that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't own that. I thought about it for a minute. Like, no, this one's yours.
Yeah,
Yep.
say it without malice,
Right.
without any bossiness, without any accusations. Just
Right.
say, nah, that's not my gig.
Yep.
That's your
Yep.
issue, not mine.
Right.
And that's it. Don't mean we got to be mad with each other. I'm not gonna be mad at you for trying to impose your shit on me. I'm just gonna let you know, wrong person.
Right.
And
Right.
that's it. And do you need me to help guide you through something? No, you got this. All right, just as long as you accept that it's yours.
Right. Right. So
Because
go do some examining. Why do you feel that way? Right.
on my days when I'm magically orgasmic, don't come shitting in my parade.
No. No. And it's what's interesting is we are all a mirror for the people that we are talking with, and they're also a mirror for us.
Yeah.
So when I react, I will say to myself, okay, what just happened here? Right? Why am I reacting? Why am I feeling this way?
Right.
What's going on? Right? Is this me? Well, I know the mirror thing, so a good portion of it is me. And 90% of the time, it's my bullshit. So I don't say anything because it's my bullshit to go deal with.
Right.
Right? If it's not my bullshit, then I won't accept it.
No.
Yes.
Here you go. I put it on a plate for you.
Right? Right? Right.
Let's
I
make
looked
it happen.
at it, and no.
Not mine.
Yeah, my reaction was not my history. My reaction was not my beliefs. My reaction was, you just did this bullshit thing.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you I don't like it. Then you're gonna say, well, what part of it bothered you? Then I'm gonna probably say, if I can identify it, I'm gonna say, well, I didn't like that you said this, but why did that offend you? Now I'm gonna say, why did that offend me?
Right.
Yeah.
But
Right.
that's confrontation. I love confrontation. To me, that's confrontation. See, you learn from it, you solutionize the problem. So there's
Right.
no anger, there's no bitterness towards the other person. You're like, damn, thanks for calling me out on that. I wasn't aware or I forgot.
If you react negatively when someone says that's a problem for me, that you hurt my feelings, or this isn't cool for me, if you react, you need to ask yourself why. Because you can't have a healthy conversation if you're reacting.
You're absolutely right. But also, I've learned that then everybody all of a sudden became so damn sensitive that you had to watch everything you say. I didn't fall into that category. So I was the too blunt. I was the aggressor. I was rude. I was whatever. That's not it. I'm sorry if I'm honest and assertive and you want to call me mean and aggressive. Now that's your issue.
Yeah.
You can't deal with my honesty and my assertiveness to correct your ass when you're accusing me of something I'm not. When you accuse me of something I am, I'm like, oh shit, my bad.
Well, that's exactly what drew me to Lori in the first place. First of all, that she calls herself a badass Buddha. I'm like, I love you, right? Right. But the first conversation that we had with each other was a no bullshit conversation.
Yeah.
And my entire life I've been about truth. And I'll tell you again, guys, my experience in corporate America. Here's my interview. So what's your strong point, Gail? I am all about the truth. You will always know what's going on because I'm going to tell you the truth. What's your weak point, Gail? I'm all about the truth, and no matter what's going on, I'm going to tell you the truth. Right? Right? And the hiring person always says, I want to hear the truth. The second you tell them the truth, we can't say that here.
You can't handle the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
But you know what?
Right?
I don't sugarcoat shit. I don't care. I don't believe in that political correctness. I can be in the White House. I can be in the Vatican. I'm gonna always be true to Margarita.
Oh yes,
I'm
with you.
That depends on the intention. The word that I use, if there's intention behind it, I can say, roses and petals, and I can say it in a way that has a terrible intention to it. So the words that I use, it's not the words, it's the intention, because what we're trying to do when we use language is take a feeling and a picture that's in a subconscious, translate it, and put it out there so someone understands it. Now, we've just gone through a whole shitload of filters and tried to create a picture for someone and a feeling for someone, and it ain't going to happen. As long as I don't have that intention and you receive it that way, again, not my issue.
It's not my issue for me to navigate and go through and stop and think what words are going to make you feel okay, even though I'm saying the truth. The truth is it's not pretty and it's not nice. And as long as if I'm reacting, not so much reacting, but if I got to stand my ground and speak my truth, if you said something out of pocket, I don't care where we are, I'm going to check your ass right there. You said it there, I'm going to check your ass there. Because too many people let things go because it's not appropriate. And then that's how little by little you start becoming Swiss cheese for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And that company that I got fired from, literally in a meeting, I had my boss afterwards tell me to shut up, not to share that, right? That, don't try to show people how smart you are. Let them figure it out. And I'm like, but they're not figuring it out. Right.
I'm not named that tune. I remember that show. Name that tune. I'm not named that tune.
I used to literally say, there's a dead pink elephant in the middle of the room that no one is talking about in this meeting. It's starting to stink and I want to talk about it. And people would look, not in this meeting. So I stayed at the company. I shouldn't have. They fired me. Thank you.
They did you a hell of a favor.
Because
and that's the irony.
When you place value on you, other people don't like you.
Oh, I know.
When you walk in your truth, knowing that you're gonna make enemies as quick as you make friends, or you're gonna lose friends as quick as you make enemies, however the hell
right.
That you're okay, because when you walk in your truth, being alone is the most satisfying thing you can do. When you're walking in your truth, it's good to have associates, but you can't bring everybody.
And you're not going to. You're not going to. I had a contract that I worked with the company on, and the hiring manager, one of the VPs, said to her, people here, either love her or they hate her. What's going on? And she said, well, she sees through their bullshit and she's calling everyone out on their bullshit. I mean, that's what I was brought in for. And some people like it and some people don't.
That's right.
It's who she is.
And you're consistent.
Right? But I was not born for you to understand me. I was born and raised for me to learn how to understand myself.
Right.
So whatever your opinions and understanding of me is, that is not my business. Because every day I have to lay my head down every night and be okay with the Margarita that I am. Right. And you know what? It took a lot of hard work, blood, unshed tears, and sweat to become who I am. And I'm not going to I don't care what's your position in life, how much money you make, or who you think the hell you want to think you are. I'm Wonder Woman on any given day.
But the thing is, the lessons that we learn for ourselves, and yes, I've got, all the training behind it and as well, all that bullshit stuff that you were talking about going to school. We have so much now to share with folks, right? When I talk with, in fact, I had a mentor one time say to me, you're one of those coaches who not only has a ridiculously deep tool chest, but when you tell someone A, B, C, and D, you have done A, B, C, and D. Right? And so it brings credibility and it brings texture and depth to the exchange that we have. And that's what you ladies, that's why I love the two of you. Right? You're not just, I've taken the course and I passed the course and this is what the book tells me to say.
I don't got time for that. You know what? My life was all the books written. I said, I haven't been written about because that author has yet to be born. Okay? Right. When you traveled my road, when you've walked in my shoes, then you can sit there and judge about how I express myself, how I speak to my clients, how I speak when I'm on a platform. Other than that, please take a seat in the back of the room because I don't want to hear you.
Yeah.
Right. And if you want to deal with clients that are, let's just say, up the ladder, people who own their own business, people who are in the sea, you better have a set of balls because they don't have time for bullshit.
But what did Betty White say, Gail? Betty White says, a vagina outbeats a set of balls anytime, because we take a pounding and get up and make a sandwich where they just cower down.
That's awesome. I love her.
Yeah.
I
So
love
you know
her.
what? I have a workshop I'm creating. I have a mission statement. It's called The Power of Pussy. What is it about? Reminding women that we are the strongest species to ever exist in this universe.
Well, yes,
How
we
dare
are
we?
a power. We are a powerhouse.
Yep.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
Gladiator Guru said something before about, when you own yourself and know your truth, and you're left by yourself, and people don't like being by themselves, and I'm convinced that it has to do with the fact that they just don't know themselves. And
Mhm.
because if you knew yourself, you wouldn't care if you were by yourself, because you know damn well you're not going to be by yourself long anyway. You're going to find somebody. It's the individuals who are so out of touch with themselves or don't really like themselves, hate being by themselves. They don't like doing anything by themselves. They always have to have a TV on. They always have to be doing, so they can't meditate. Like all these things that require you to take those moments to just sit and go within.
Mhm.
Those individuals don't like themselves. And it's not a judgment, it's an observation, because I've asked this question to myself so many times in observation of other people and of myself. And that's what I have seen. And it was so empowering to me when I finally got to the level where I could be by myself. I really don't care, because I was never like that my whole life, like never, And I just want to do a quote because I love this quote. Brene Brown says, if you are not in the arena also getting your ass kicked, I am not interested in your feedback.
Exactly. Exactly. One of the things that both of you brought up with knowing yourself and being alone, during COVID, people were forced to face themselves.
Yes.
And two things came out of that. Either they went deep and did some healing, right, and got to know themselves at a much richer level than they knew before, or they felt disempowered. And if they felt disempowered, they got angry,
Or sad.
right? Or sad,
Yep.
right? Their emotions took over, right? Those two things happened. And so when we started to open up, people are re-entering the world with that baggage now, either more enlightened, and they're entering looking, at least I'm looking around going, I can't believe that living like this was okay with me before, because it's not. Or they're coming out afraid to come out, afraid to take a step, or angry about taking the step and pointing the finger and yelling and whatever. So it's very interesting observing what's happening now that that is over, right?
And it's not even over, because
No.
I think a lot of the anger that's out there now is coming from those people that refused to get to know themselves.
Right. Right.
And now they're back into the groove. They're
But
in
who
the
are those
circle.
people? They're the most judgmental,
Yes,
control
generally. Yeah.
freaks, and deny that they're that, and then get offended when you call them that, because they don't know who they are. And going back to like being alone, you know what? That is so empowering to be alone. I'm a middle child, but I was a caregiver 10 years. And in my house, my husband died in our bedroom. And 4 years and 3 days later, my mom died in the same bedroom. And that is the most comfortable, best sleeping room you can have.
Mm.
It is still my bedroom. I am a 4.5 years now, a little bit over 4.5 years widow, haven't dated since he died by choice. I didn't say I didn't have sex. I said I haven't dated. Yeah, I'm not. But celibacy right now for the past 2 years, it's a choice. Not dating anybody since my husband died, it's a choice. It's not that I'm gonna erase his memory, but it's about getting to know the Margarita I am 10 years after being a caregiver to two different people with two different diseases, and being with them as they took their last breath, which is
Right.
why now I am an end of life doula. So, and a sacred
Mhm.
healer and a spiritual life coach. Why? Because I had to walk that path and be filled with sorrow and grief, and knowing that I'm doing the best I can and they're still going to leave. And you know what? Coming to terms with this was an assignment to lead me to the next level in my life. So am I gonna judge you? No. Am I gonna call you out on your shit if you're affecting me? Yes. Am I mean to people? No. But if I gotta call out your truth, it might sound mean, but guess what? That's your issue again, not mine.
That's what the intention is. You're not intending to be mean. You're intending to be a guide. You're intending to be healing. Yes, you're intending for a positive outcome.
Yes. And you know what? You're phenomenal. My cousin even texted me how much she loved you. So we gotta have you back on the show. We did go over today. This was great. I salute you for engaging both the badass Buddha and I to the point where I have become emotional having these conversations. And it wasn't a battle over what you knew, what badass Buddha. It was all of us sharing it in our authentic tone of voice. And when our energy is authentic, others might seem it to be different. I don't care, but it's not. It was no offense. I've learned from you today. Badass Buddha shared some stuff that's hit me a certain way today, even though I might have heard it in the past.
Got lots of notes.
That's what life is about. And when we can sit together and have these types of conversations and share our truth and how we have an audience and how we feed our audience to make them better human beings when they walk away from us, then guess what? That's the beauty in being 3 types of women today. Me with my 4 personalities, and one day I can name them all for you because they're all fucking fantastic.
Oh, let's talk about multiples next time. Oh my God, yes, please.
And so I thank you and I honor you, Gail, for taking the time to be here today. The comments from the tribe are phenomenal. And so thank you for invoking that awareness this morning.
Thank you for the opportunity. I mean, you ladies are fantastic.
We are
yes, we need to do this again, on or off the air. It doesn't matter. You know, I'm on the East Coast. I'll come down to are you in Connecticut, Rhode Island?
I am in Tampa, Florida.
I'm going to be down in Florida soon.
Okay. She's in Connecticut right now. She's in Connecticut right now.
Yeah, I'm in Connecticut right now. So if you have a beautiful place over there, I would love to go visit. I love it up there.
We definitely stay in touch, ladies. I love the both of you.
And
so we love you. And yeah, let me tell you, we don't go this long for a lot of people. So we're really into the conversation today.
You know what? This was needed, Gail, and I'm going to take 1 minute before we close out. This was needed because the holidays are coming. They're highly stressful. They're suicide, domestic violence, depression, all falls into the next upcoming months. So I think this, look at, I'm getting goosebumps and I'm not that emotional. This conversation today, and I hope that the tribe that is still on will share and reshare to remind every person watching it that they are unique, they are divine, that their energy is their energy. Don't allow anyone to take it and don't give it away. Protect it at all costs. Feed your spirit, nurture your ego, and take your power back from your thoughts. Because, you know, winter's coming is depressing in itself, but the holidays, lack of money, lack of job, who gives a shit? Take pictures, make memories, dress up and dance around like fools. Make your own holiday. Go to the dollar store. You know, do whatever it takes.
Get off the couch.
Yes,
and you can hold on to the remote. Just rock back and forth.
Right, back and forth. Dance. I get up and dance. Everybody thinks I'm crazy, and I love it. I'll be crazy, but I won't be depressed.
Nope. Thank you, ladies.
Cool. All right. So thank you, Gail, for coming on. And again, if you want to reach out to Gail, you can find Gail at gailkraft.com. She is the Empowering Process podcast. So you can check out her podcast as well. And again, if there's still time to get tickets for Usta Tu Corona, Gail should come on down for that. And
I'm going to check it out. I'll let you know.
Ustatucorona.com for tickets. And we also posted it in the comments with a direct link. So you can just click onto that. You will see Gladiator Guru and I will have a booth. Gladiator Guru will be talking. You can dance with us, hang with us, eat with us, whatever.
And wear your mask because we have a contest for the best mask. The best mask.
Not this one. This mask. Yeah, the real
and remember,
mask.
for everybody coming, I want hugs. Come hug me.
Yes, me too.
Yep.
Me too. So we thank everybody for coming on, and next week is November. So we've got a lot of great shows coming up. On Tuesday, we'll be talking about, am I an imposter? And we're going to be talking about imposter syndrome. And then on Thursday, we're going to have our guest, Michelle Wasserman, and we're going to be talking from powerless to powerhouse. So it's a continuation of this conversation. So there's a theme here. We're going on about, you being your own self, especially as we're ending the year. Like Gladiator Guru said, going into the holidays, you need this power, because we might be getting together with family. We might not have done that last year. And sometimes some of that was not good, but some of it that was a good break from them.
Or
so
probably is depressing because you got to skip last year. And now this year you got to do it. Well,
no, it's just cough. I might have corona.
Here you go, Gail. All right, Gladiator Guru, any last minute thing before we do our sign off?
Nope. See you all at Ajusta tomorrow. And everybody, thank you so much for being on today.
And get
Thank
the
you.
coffee.
Yes.
Coffee.
Yes. And the white bags, there's only going to be 2, organic Ethiopian, organic Colombian. I'm so proud of my coffee, invoking happy memories, one sip at a time.
That's fabulous. All right, everyone. Have a beautiful weekend. We'll see you tomorrow night. And from the Badass Buddha, remember, be you, be real, and be extraordinary.
And from the Gladiator Guru, remember, breathe in the beauty and breathe out the bullshit. Namaste.
Namaste, everyone.
Namaste.